Vaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naranjaiva Narottamam
Naram Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Ashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayesu Avadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam
Nityam Bhagavata Seva
Bhagavate Uttama Sloke
Bhagavate Uttama Sloke
Bhaktin Bhavadirnaisiti
Bhakti Naistiki
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nandagopa Kumaraya
Nandagopa Kumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. Today we are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, text number 21. 2421. The canto name is The Cosmic Manifestation and the chapter name is The Process of Creation. Please repeat the sloga behind me. Yad-aṅghry-abhidhyāna-samādhi-dhautayā
yad-aṅghry-abhidhyāna-samādhi-dhautayā
dhiyānupaśyanti tattvam ātmanaḥ
dhiyānupaśyanti tattvam ātmanaḥ
vadanti caitat kavayo yathā-rucaṁ
vadanti caitat kavayo yathā-rucaṁ
same mukundo bhagavān prasīdatām
same mukundo bhagavān prasīdatām.
Word by word meaning, please repeat behind me. Yad-aṅghry.
Yad-aṅghry.
Whose lotus feet?
Whose lotus feet?
Abhidhyāna. Thinking of at every second.
Thinking of at every second.
Samadhi. Trance. Dhautayā. Being washed off.
Dhiyā.
By such clean intelligence. Anupaśyanti. Does see by following authorities. He. Certainly. Tattvam. The absolute truth. ātmanaḥ. Of the Supreme Lord and of oneself.
The Supreme Lord and of oneself.
Vadanti. They say. Cha. Also. Etat. This. Kavayo. Philosophers or learned scholars. Yathā-rucaṁ. As he thinks. Saha. He. Me. Mine. Mukundaha. Lord Kṛṣṇa. Who gives liberation. Bhagavān. The personality of Godhead. Prasīdatām. Be pleased with me. Be pleased with me. Translation. Please repeat. Translation. Purport is English. Abhay Charna Vanesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Please repeat behind me. It is the personality of Godhead.
It is the personality of Godhead.
Kṛṣṇa, who gives liberation.
Who gives liberation.
By thinking of his lotus feet.
By thinking of his lotus feet
at every second,
at every second,
following in the footsteps of
following in the footsteps of
authorities,
authorities,
the devotee in
the devotee in
trance
trance
can see the absolute truth.
can see the absolute truth.
The learned mental speculators,
The
The
learned
learned mental speculators,
however,
think of him
think of him
according to their whims.
according to their
whims.
whims.
May the Lord be
May the Lord be
The Lord
pleased with me.
pleased with
is
you.
with me.
Purport. The mystic yogis, after a strenuous effort to control the senses, may be situated in a trance of yoga just to have a vision of a spiritual super soul within everyone. But the pure devotee, simply by remembering the Lord's lotus feet at every second, at once becomes established in real trance, because by such realization, his mind and intelligence are completely cleansed of the diseases of material enjoyment. The pure devotee thinks himself fallen into the ocean of birth and death, and incessantly prays to the Lord to lift him up. He only aspires to become a speck of transcendental dust at the lotus feet of the Lord. The pure devotee, by the grace of the Lord, absolutely loses all attraction for material enjoyment. And to keep free from contamination, he always thinks of the lotus feet of the Lord. King Kulaśekhara, a great devotee of the Lord, prayed, Kṛṣṇa tvādiya padapangaja panjarantam adyaiva me visatu manasa raja hamsaha pranaprayana samaye kapavada pittahi kandavardana vidu smaranam kutaste. O my Kṛṣṇa, O my Lord Kṛṣṇa, I pray that the swan of my mind may immediately sink down to the stems of the lotus feet of your Lordship and be locked in their network. Otherwise, at the time of my final breath, when my throat is choked up with cough, how will it be possible to think of you? There is an intimate relationship between the swan and the lotus stem. So the comparison is very appropriate. Without becoming a swan or Paramahamsa, one cannot enter into the network of the lotus feet of the Lord. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, the mental speculators, even by dint of learned scholarship, cannot even dream of the absolute truth by speculating over it for eternity. The Lord reserves the right of not being exposed to such mental speculators. And because they cannot enter into the network stem of lotus feet of the Lord, all mental speculators differ in conclusions, and at the end, they make a useless compromise by saying as many conclusions as many ways, according to one's own inclinations, yathā-rucaṁ. But the Lord is not like a shopkeeper trying to please all sorts of customers in the mental speculative exchange. The Lord is what he is, the absolute personality of Godhead, and he demands absolute surrender unto him only. The pure devotee, however, by following the ways of previous acharyas or authorities, can see the Supreme Lord through the transparent medium of a bona fide spiritual master, ātmanaḥ. The pure devotee never tries to see the Lord by mental speculation, but by following in the footsteps of the acharyas, mahajanayena gataha sa pantaha. Therefore, there is no difference of conclusions amongst the Vaisnava acharyas regarding the Lord and the devotees. Lord Chaitanya asserts that the living entity Jiva is eternally the servator of the Lord, and that he is simultaneously one with and different from the Lord. This tattva of Lord Chaitanya's is shared by all four sampradayas of the Vaishnava school, all accepting eternal servitude to the Lord even after salvation. And there is no authorized Vaishnava acharyas who may think of the Lord and himself as one. This humbleness of the pure devotee, who is 100% engaged in his service, puts the devotee of the Lord in a trance by which to realize everything. Because to the sincere devotee of the Lord revealed himself, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 10.10. The Lord, being the Lord of intelligence in everyone, even in the non-devotees, favors his devotee with proper intelligence so that automatically the pure devotee is enlightened with the factual truth about the Lord and his different energies. The Lord is revealed not by one's speculative power or by one's verbal jugglery over the absolute truth. Rather, he reveals himself to a devotee when he is fully satisfied by the devotee's service attitude. Sukadeva Goswami is not a mental speculator or compromiser of the theory of as many ways, as many conclusions. Rather, he prays to the Lord only, invoking his transcendental pleasure. That is the way of knowing the Lord. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravadi Pracharine Vishesha Sunyavad Pasha Shatesha Tarne Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In the past few days we are discussing about the process of creation. So when Sukadeva Goswami started speaking about the Lord in front of Parikshit Maharaj asked the question of how this creation happened. He was asking explanation about he want Sukadeva Goswami to explain the process of the creation. So Sukadeva Goswami started the explanation. So before starting the explanation, he was remembering the Lord and his potencies, is glorifying the Lord. So this is also one of that glorification. So in this sloka, Sukadeva Goswami is saying that it is the personality of Godhead, Sri Kṛṣṇa, who gives liberation. So this is very clear that only Sri Kṛṣṇa can give the liberation. There is no other demigods cannot give the liberation. Other demigods can satisfy the material way of requirement of the devotees, and also if somebody very devoted to the demigods, they will give the intelligence to get the knowledge about Kṛṣṇa, and they will send them to the proper way. And if anybody very rigid to connect with the demigods, then they can enter the demigod's place. So this is what Kṛṣṇa also explained in Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter. Yanti devo. Like that, there is a sloka, it is there. So whoever worshipping the Lord, whoever worshipping the demigods, they will go to the demigod place. Whoever worshipping the Buddha and Preta, they will go to their place. Whoever worshipping the forefathers, they will go to their place. Whoever worshipping me, they will come to me. That's what Kṛṣṇa said in that sloka. So that is the way. So the person who want the liberation, the person has to work Lord Kṛṣṇa or Lord Vishnu, or the avatar of Lord, so that they will get the love of God. They need to establish the connection, re-establish the connection between the Lord and the Son. The Lord will automatically, he will give the intelligence. That's what the Kṛṣṇa also saying in Bhagavad Gita. So, and also Kṛṣṇa saying in Bhagavad Gita that bhaktyāmam abhidhyānādi. So if anybody wanted to know me through bhakti only, there is no other mean to know that. But that mystic yogis and the mental speculators, they speculate about the Lord and according to their own whimsical way. But in that whimsical way, they cannot understand. But finally, what they conclude that there are so many ways to understand. There are so many different ways to attain the Lord. There are so many conclusions and so many paths to attain. So like that, they will conclude their decision. They will say like that. But Prabhupada clearly explained here that Kṛṣṇa is not a shopkeeper. So if for a shopkeeper, he wanted to satisfy all the customers. So he will try to attract the customer in multiple ways. And he will provide some for somebody, he will give some discount. Somebody, he will some extra. Somebody asking some half kilo rice or half kilo sugar, then if they purchase them more than 1,000 rupees, some half kilo sugar will be free. Like that, he wanted to attract the multiple level of customers. Some customers, they may expect discount. Some customer, they may expect some extra thing. They are giving some gifts they are giving or not. Some customer, they will ask some credit. Some customer, they want something, he need to be priced. So there are multiple ways the customers multiple customers will be there for a shopkeeper. So the shopkeeper, in order to satisfy each and every customer and their mood, he will act accordingly. So whoever wants the discount, he will discount. Who are expecting the some gifts, they will give the gifts. So like that, he will manage the customer so that the customers will be with him. But Lord is not doing the business over here, and Lord is not like that. So Lord is very strict, and that's what Lord also laid down only one path to reach him. There are no multiple ways to reach the Lord. There may be multiple ways. There are yoga system, yogis who are following other multiple ways, but everything finally it need to be connected to the only one path, that is the bhakti yoga. From there they have to reach the Lord. So all the other paths, it will connect to the bhakti yoga path. Then they have to go back to the Godhead. So there is no other way. That's what Kṛṣṇa also saying. Bhakti-ātmanaḥ-abhidhyāna-samādhi-dhautayā. So only the devotees of the Lord, devotees of me, my devotees can understand me. That's what Kṛṣṇa also saying in Bhagavad Gita. And also Kṛṣṇa is saying that it is not just I'm just becoming a devotee, but it's not with the purpose of I have some knowledge. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Without, it is not a kind of a devotee. The devotee means they should exhibit that Lord is the everything, and I'm surrendered to the Lord. And whatever the following the authorities, the previous acharyas, whatever they said, accepting that and following the authorities, that and do this bhakti. So only that person can be a pure devotee of the Lord. Otherwise, people, it will be a whimsical way of understanding, but just by using our intelligence. And in Bhagavad Gita, Kṛṣṇa is saying that if you need, in 10.10, Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So Kṛṣṇa is saying, to those who are constantly devoted to serve me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So this is directly Kṛṣṇa is saying that who are constantly devoted to me and serving me with love, for them I will give the understanding by which they can come to me. It is not necessary we need to use our intelligence, because it is our intelligence also, it is provided by the Lord. Already we discussed in the 15.15 sloka. The intelligence, forgetfulness, remembrance, it is coming from the Lord only. So intelligence provided by the Lord, and to attain him also, that intelligence also Lord will provide. I will provide. When he will provide? When we devoted to the service, devoted to the lotus feet of the Lord. When we surrender to the Lord, that time he will give the intelligence by which we can reach the Lord. And here Prabhupada he put a Mukundamala Sostra from there, the King Kulaśekhara's prayers. So King Kulaśekhara, he was a great devotee of the Lord. So he was that much devotee. He was a king, and the attitude of his attitude is always he was in the remembrance of the Lord Ramachandra. So whenever every day in his court, every day the Ramayana will be recited, and daily he will be immersed into that Ramayana. So his order is every day the Ramayana will be recited in the court. So every day one guru used to come and he used to recite Ramayana, and he will be enjoy that the pastimes of the Lord Ram. So one day the guru couldn't come to the court, and he sent his disciple. So whenever the Sita Abharan, so always the previous king, the guru, what he used to do, he won't get into the where Ravana catch the Sita, he will omit that part, because the king is so agitated. Sometimes he will be, because the king will be always in the trance. So because doing the trance, he couldn't understand what he is doing, and he will be always immersed in the Ramayana Katha. So he will get into that story itself. That much level of attraction he had with the Ramayana. So when the disciple of that previous guru, he came and recite the sloka where the Sita Abharan, Sita was kidnapped by Ravana, that happened, immediately the king was hearing, and he was immersed into the story, and that level that he saw that Kṛṣṇa is getting the Sita got up, kidnapped by the Ravana. By hearing that, immediately he ordered his ministers, get ready of our soldiers. How can Sita can be with my lord's wife can be kidnapped by someone else? Let us go and fight with Ravana and get the Sita back to the Ram. It is our duty. Let us go. Like that, he ordered his ministers. But ministers know him very well that he will be merged with the story of Ramayana. So they know how to handle this. So one person. So they are because the king's order, they have to take care. So one person, one minister, he went ahead and he came back like that. He was coming on the way, and the other soldiers and kings, they were proceeding towards. They came out from the palace because he wanted to fight with Ravana, because he couldn't understand that it's a Ramayana story, because he was thinking that it was happening really, and my lord's wife is kidnapped by Ravana. So he wanted to proceed with that fight. So he bring he brought all his soldiers, and he's proceeding. That time when one of the ministers coming back, then he told Lord Ramachandra saved the Sita, and they went to Ayodhya like that. So after hearing that, okay, my lord, you saved, okay, my lord saved, so let us go back. Like that, his mind, so there was that much attraction he had towards the Lord Ramachandra, and he is in his bhakti, even though he is a great king. Because generally in the current way of modern life, or the current way of kings, they are more or less they are thinking that godless civilization, also secularism they will speak, and they will speak about only the welfare of only people. They don't want to keep the God inside. Because if they speak about the Lord, or their own religion, then they are fearing that other religion people they won't vote. That is the way the current way of kings are there. They don't know the scriptures also. But the Raja Rishis, they know everything, and because they are always treated as next to the God. The kings are, because the king, the olden days, the king used to give the justice also. Whatever the problem, the king used to discuss with his ministers, and he will inquire the parties who are all fighting, who are all in the conflict. He'll inquire, and he'll give the punishment, or he'll give the fine. Like that, something he will do. All these problems will be solved by the king only. So the kings are always, the people used to see the king the next to the God, godliness. And even in the current present day also, if the judges in the court, the people, all the advocates, they used to call my lord, they'll say. So this is kind of coming as a parampara. So the way the kings are used to see as a next to the Lord. So this king Kulaśekhara, even his quality, if you see what he is explaining in this sloka, he is saying that he is praying to the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa. What he is saying that at the end of my life, vada, pitta, kapha, everything will come, and it will choke up. My throat will be choked up. I may not be able to chant your holy name. Now itself I am chanting the holy name. Please pick me now itself. If it is possible, final breath, I may not be able to chant your name. Now itself I am chanting with a good health, so that you can pick me up. Like that, he was his prayer. So that is the way the pure devotees of the Lord, always they won't think about the material, anything material. They always think about how to go back to the Godhead. That is their only desire. And also they were always in the service of the Lord. That is the quality of the pure devotees. And for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yes, Prabhupada is mentioning that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Achintya Bheda Abhedas Tattva. So that is the Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva, means we are all simultaneously one with the Lord, but different from the Lord. Simultaneously one and different from the Lord. That means qualitatively we are one with the Lord, and quantity way we are different. So that means we are different from the Lord, but our qualities are same as the Lord. So that is the way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu derived that this tattva, this philosophy, simultaneously one and different from the Lord. So this is accepted by all the Vaisnava Sampradayas, and also all the Vaisnava Sampradayas, they are always, their mood also, even before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, Ramanujacharya, and Radhamuni, all those previous acharyas also, they established the same thing, that we are all the servants of the Lord. So that is the established final conclusion is, we are the eternal servants of the Lord. Because of our enjoying propensity, we came over here. Here we need to do the realization, and we need to go back to our original position as a servant of the Lord. So that is the mood of all the Vaisnava Sampradaya. So today also the Vaisnava Sampradayas are speaking about that only. And also here, Prabhupada is, and in this sloka it is mentioned that the mental speculators, they will think according to their own whims, the Lord and his activities. So we should not think our own whims. So we need to follow the previous acharyas, how they are explained, what is their experience. Yes, the previous acharyas, the bona fide acharyas, they followed their previous acharyas. So they won't deviate any point from the previous acharyas. Like that, if you see, it is coming from the Guru Parambara. The knowledge is coming from the Guru Parambara. It is coming from the Brahma. So the same knowledge is coming from Parambara to Parambara to Parambara. So just we need to rely on, just need to have the full faith on the, full confidence on what our Guru says, so who is from the bona fide Parambara, then our bhakti will increase. He already seen the truth. So we just need to follow. He will also show the same truth to us. This is what Kṛṣṇa also saying in Bhagavad Gita. If you want to get the knowledge, go to the Guru, go to your Guru, go to your bona fide Guru, serve him, and inquire him in a humble way, so that he will show the truth, whatever he sees. So this is the way Kṛṣṇa also explaining in Bhagavad Gita. So accepting a Guru and follow his footsteps, so that we can also get the similar result. Yes, why it is similar result? If you follow the process, then you will get the same result. All the Gurus, they followed the same process, whatever their previous Guru did. So they also seen the truth. So if we follow the same thing, we can also see the truth. So instead of following, because in chemistry, you can understand that one chemical and two chemical, this much proportionate. If you mix it, it will give this chemical. Like that, it is the proportionate already mentioned, and it will be there. So whimsically, if you put this much and this it means more chemical, more this one, what will happen? That is thing. If you are thinking like that, that is kind of a research we can say, but we won't get the desired result. The similar way, we don't want to research that, because already everything is properly researched in the spirituality. Everything, it is millions of years research happened, everything done, all the things are cleared, everything there in the scriptures. We just need to clear our doubt through a spiritual master, just follow the authority, follow the scriptures, that's all, our life will be perfect. So that is what Sukadeva Goswami is praying to the Lord, that he wanted to think the Lord's lotus feet, and he wanted to follow the authorities, because even Sukadeva Goswami also followed the authorities. Even when Kṛṣṇa appeared in his material world also, that time also he followed the authorities. He got a Guru, Sandipani Muni. He also went to the Gurukul and he also studied. Yes, he wanted to show to the world that what is the way the person should live. So that's the reason he demonstrated. So it is not like that there are so many Gurus are now, by birth I am Guru. Like that they are saying. They won't follow any previous authorities. So they are just the mental speculators. They are all just the mental speculators. We cannot blindly follow this mental speculators. We have to follow the authorities, who is the bona fide Guru, so that we can get the Lord's mercy. And here, in this sloka, Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning those Gurus, mentioning those points like that. Means by thinking of the lotus feet of the every second, following the footsteps of the authorities, the devotee in the trance can see the absolute truth. So by following the authorities, the devotees can see the absolute truth. And the mental speculators, they may think different way according to their whims. So he's saying that he's praying, just may the Lord be pleased with me. So he wanted to please the Lord through explaining about, giving the knowledge about the Lord to Parikshit Maharaj. So that's why he's here also he's again praying the Lord. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.